Right, what you should have now is like this outline. So you have a straight line going across here, and then you have a diagonal line, and then you have your armhole, which for me goes like this, and then you have your main body line, which follows like this, and then it ends here at the hip. So what we need to do is we need to elongate this line, and we also need to just like round off the length as well. So what to do is measure with your tape measure the hip, where the hip is, like so. Mine comes to about 9.75 inches, and measure that throughout the rest of the fabric. So 9.75, 9.75 again, and then use your ruler or tape measure to just join the dots and make a straight line. Like so. Right, and just like carry that through to the rest of the fabric. So that's the bottom half of the kameez, and as you can see, it ends around here. That's where my length is. However, I have a couple of inches just for the seam allowance, so leave that fabric at the bottom, and then this is just the extra fabric for the sleeve. The kameez normally has splits at, like these sort of slits along the bottom, starting from around the hip, and it just gives it better shape, and it enables you to have more movement. Generally these slits should start around the hip, so if you just make a mark around where your hip line is, it will remind you that that is where your slit is going to start. However, some people like to have them in different places, so if you like to have it further up, you can, or you can have it further bottom down the kameez, but if you do that, you'll need it to be a bit more looser, can you understand? I'll show you kameez now, and what I mean about the slit. Right, so here is the kameez I've sewed earlier. So as you can see, that's where the hip is, waist is, hip is, and then it has like these slits at the bottom, like so. So that's what I mean. Okay, now it seems like we're ready to get cutting. Now, the crucial thing to remember is the measurements that we've made here and the marks that we put on are like for the finished kameez, so I haven't included the seam allowance with that. I prefer to include the seam allowance later. So what you need to do is the line that you've drawn here, this is the outline. You need to measure around 2.5 centimeters for the seam allowance. So measure that on your ruler and just mark it all the way. When it comes to the armhole, I like to leave a 1 centimeter seam allowance because it's a lot easier. So when you get to your armhole, make 1.5 centimeter measurements and just mark it around the armhole, like so. Like so. And then at the top here, the diagonal line that we made, again that's 1 centimeter seam allowance, so if you just mark that on, like so. And then you come to the straight line at the top, that is also 1 centimeter seam allowance over here. Now what you need to do is just simply join up the dots that you just made.